All right, Jimmy, let's bring the rest of the crew up on stage and welcome in here. Everybody's showing up here this morning. Richie, Marty, Jimmy, and of course, our guest here this morning, Dr. MC Bork.
What's up, Doc?
MC.
Hi, nice to see you. Nice to be here.
How are you, Doc?
I'm great. Yeah, it's pretty early here, but it's nice to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Hold on a second here. Where are you located this morning?
British Columbia, Canada. So it's 5:20 a.m. here.
All right, so
I'm with you.
I'm in Manitoba, Canada, so you got some Canadians here with you with him. So I appreciate you getting your rear end out of bed early this morning. You're hanging out in the time zone as Johnny this morning, which is awesome. So listen, we're gonna break down how to unlock your full potential, specifically through maximizing your mental fitness. Our guest today, Dr. MC Bork, is a mental health and peak performance specialist introduced to us by our good friend Rich Ingram. She's a specialist who works with high performing athletes, including, oh man, do I got to admit this out loud? Yeah, including the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry to all my Jets friends and all my buddies on the Jets over there. She works with the team down the road there. Yep, of course she does, the Maple Leafs. She's here to share her experience and expertise on understanding and managing the unique stressors that high performers face, like Rich Ingram, and how to develop the resilience necessary to overcome them. Dr. MC, totally excited to have you here today. Before we get into it, I got to ask you, when you join the green room and you come into this conversation about bidets and wiping rear ends and deep cheeks, did you really wonder what the hell you got yourself into this morning? Why you rolled out of bed this early in the morning? You're like, Rich, what did you get me into, man?
Number one, I wanted to know whether you're talking about Italian bidets or Japanese bidets because they're very different.
Johnny?
Japanese.
Amazing. Those are my favorite.
I'm with you. I'm not down with the Italian one.
Number two, I deep cheeks, and I regretted Googling deep cheeks. Yeah, so there we go. Here we are. I was happy to be here. Rich, I trust Rich. Rich says this is where I need to be. I'm here, regardless of the bidet deep cheeks.
For the trust. Thank you for the trust.
Deep cheeks while she's listening to our opening monologue. I imagine.
Oh, man.
I can't imagine
I can
what
only
popped
imagine
up.
what came out, man. Oh, my God. We're rated PG compared to what she was seeing, I bet you.
I hope that's incognito. You got some cookies now.
Let's get into the conversation center stage. Dr. MC, we often hear about how mental fitness is just as important as physical fitness, especially for high performers. But in your experience, Dr. MC, what are some of let's get right to the basics here. What are some of the common mental barriers that hold people back, let's talk men specifically, from achieving their peak performance?
I think I was listening to you a little bit earlier, Keith, and you nailed it. A lot of the negotiations that happen within our own head, the voices that happen within our own head, what we tell ourselves, do I want to hit the snooze button? Do I really have to do that? Maybe I can put it off till tomorrow. The voices in our head are our biggest barriers. And I think you nailed it when you said waiting till tomorrow, waiting till the next day, and even really negotiating with ourselves is what happens, isn't it? And when we negotiate with ourselves, we're only setting ourselves up for failure. What are your thoughts about that? What do you guys think about that?
Johnny?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's so on the money. Me personally, when I even entertain one of those voices, I'm a step behind. If I'm on point, those voices I got a sock in their mouth because I'm not thinking. And as soon as I stop to think and I start responding to one of those voices, now that son of a bitch has got a hold of me. So I'm a happier person. I'm a more productive person. I'm even a more loving person when I don't listen to that shit because I feel like I'm all me. I'm not being taken off track, which means I'm feeling more confident. I'm feeling my self-esteem is higher. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better businessman. I'm better across the board when I don't listen to that shit.
I got a question for you from Dr. MC. When you do your endurance races, and I get this is going to be a very obvious cliche question. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways. You still struggle with that mental voice in your head, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you a trick that I do. So one thing, there's called the now habit, which is phenomenal. And so whatever pops up in my head, if I'm facing a decision where it's like, should I do this now or later, you do it now. So you don't even have to think about it. And normally, whichever answer is easier for you in your head, do the other one, because that's probably what's going to lead to more results. But the now habit is a great book for anybody that wants to pick it up. I just summarized it in 2 sentences, but it's an amazing philosophy. Just fucking get it done now. And
Yeah. Yeah. Marty, what about you? How do you use mental strategies? Because I know, Marty, we talked many times in the past, but is there a go-to strategy you use that when you're looking to not do something?
Yeah, when it comes to this specifically, when I give myself the option to do it tomorrow or do it another day, it's probably not going to get done on time. But when I say do it now, just like Rich was talking about, I'm way more productive. So look at working out, for instance. The people that are successful with me are the people who make the decision and sign up as soon as they message me. But the ones who message me, then they hit me back a month later, they still don't sign up. They hit me up 2-3 months later. They don't end up hitting their goals. So what is it? The now have the Rich.
The now habit.
It's super true, percent true.
That note habit, Rich, and I often do it with my bike or my treadmill. I often don't know what I'm going to do. I get on it and I just do it. Because I find that if I think about it too much, I end up not doing what I actually want to do. So yesterday, I knew, for example, I knew I had a big run. I didn't pick anything in advance. I just knew I had to get a run. I got on the treadmill, opened up my app, and said, okay, I'm doing this one right here. And then I just started. So to your point, Rich, it was like, now I had to do this right now. And when I overthink it, I tend to talk myself, Dr. MC. When I overthink it, I talk myself out of making the decision.
I was going to add, oh, my bad. Go ahead.
We're so good at talking ourselves out of things, aren't we? So when we make things a habit, like I never talk myself out of brushing my teeth. That is just a thing that I never talk myself out of doing. And so when you make something a habit, you're way less likely to talk yourself out of something. Like Marty was saying, the people that sign up are probably committed and are probably making that a habit, and therefore they don't forego their actual process to get to their goals.
So here's something I want to throw on the table. So there's often belief, Dr. MC, that mental resilience means shutting down your emotions or just toughing it out. Like old dad adage, tough it out, no matter what. I know you've got a different perspective on that. How do you view the relationship, Dr. MC, between a human being vulnerable and their resilience?
So I'm going to say something that might be unpopular amongst your viewership if it is all men, but I'm going to say that feeling your feelings is actually a really important part of being resilient. Like, you can feel your feelings, you can feel the anger, you can feel whatever, and then still do the thing that you want to do. When I see people shutting down, when I see people not feeling their feelings, they're just denying who they are, they're denying what they're experiencing, and then they're lying to themselves. When you lie to yourself, again, you're lying. You're creating that distrust between you, and that's never a good thing. I would say that the tough it out, sometimes you do have to push the feeling aside for a minute so that you can do the hard thing, but you can do both. You can feel the feeling and do the hard thing at the same time. Lying to yourself, though, about those feelings, that's just creating distrust amongst yourself, like within yourself, which is, I've never found that to be effective in any single thing that ever. Thoughts about that?
Yeah.
No, I just got to jump real quick. And when I was rambling on before about the voices in my head, if I actually am praying, if those voices take me out of my groove and I tell myself, oh, I'll do it later, oh, this, oh, that, it's me breaking the word to myself, which literally breaks down my self-confidence, my self-esteem, which then takes away from all areas of my life, including just being a better husband or a better father. So that relationship with yourself is everything. I love that.
It's interesting to hear your comments, MC, because what we've done on this show is we've really leaned into perhaps what you might not be aware of, which is this idea of feelings, this idea of vulnerability, very much creating an environment for a safe space for men who perhaps are looking for a space to share their feelings, perhaps are looking for a space to be vulnerable, perhaps looking for a conversation like we are having here right now, going, no, tell me how you're feeling. What's holding you back? Right. So that's the kind of environment we're here. We daily constructing your mornings in the lab, is inviting men to the show that want to be in touch with what's going on inside, because I believe, Marty believes, Johnny believes, and I know even Richie believes that if you're going to perform at your best out on the hockey rink or out on the field or out up on the stage, you got to be strong up here and you got to be strong here. So we're big fans of that. And that's the principles we have here in the lab here. And really believing in that powerful mind shift that vulnerability is the superpower for us human beings.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Vulnerability. We're social creatures, and we connect through, that's the thing that connects us the most. And when we're social creatures and when we connect emotionally, we not only connect with others way more, but we connect with ourselves way more. The relationship with ourselves, like John was saying, is much stronger. And we start trusting ourselves more when we allow ourselves to feel, when men, and especially men who have been told over and over, and it's like over and over again, just be tough it out, do the thing, suck it up, big boys don't cry. Like at a very young age, men are told that their emotions are not okay. Big boys don't cry. Go to your room if you're crying, which means we cannot tolerate your emotions. So men learn very early on that emotions are not okay. And when men are largely socialized like that, they start learning that, okay, I have to build up walls. I have to pretend like I'm strong all the time. But the thing about human beings is that we're not strong all of the time. Sometimes we are sad, and sometimes we are angry, and sometimes we are unsure. And the more that we can understand that, propriocept that, understand our own emotions, the more trust that we have within ourselves, the more we love ourselves, and the more that we then give ourselves what we need in this life.
Dr. MC, before we pivot to the C Marty Fit Tip and get into our deep dive and continue this conversation, have you noticed in your time in practicing the shift with men around accepting vulnerability and feelings? I don't know how many years you've been practicing, but have you noticed a shift where maybe men you were talking to 5 or 10 years ago weren't comfortable having those conversations, where now I'm thinking when you're working with some of your younger, the gentlemen you're talking to today were probably raised with this idea of speaking about your feelings. Can you talk about that for a quick moment, Dr. MC?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So I work with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I also work with their farm team, the AHL team, the Toronto Marlies, and their prospects. And I've been working there for 5-6 years. I've been working with the organization for 5-6 years. And the older guys are like, who is this chick? Like, why do we need her? We don't need anything. But then in secret, they would contact me, like outside of the rink, they would contact me. But in front of their peers, they'd be like, oh, who is this chick? And then now what I'm seeing is like the younger guys who are just moving into the organization, moving into the Leafs, they're really open, like in front of their colleagues, in front of their peers. Hey, Dr. MC, do you have 5 minutes and 10 minute, whatever? Can I talk to you for a bit? And the prospects, the kids that are coming up, they just expect it. They expect somebody like me is going to be there because they grew up with it. So I'm absolutely seeing a shift, and I love the shift that's happening.
Oh, I love hearing that. That's awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick 90-second break here. We're going to get a segment called the C Marty Fit Tip. Marty's got some fitness advice for you guys. And then we're going to come back and keep the conversation going, guys, about how to unlock your full potential. Marty, you're up, brother.